Dr. Janet, welcome to CUTV News. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
So I'm really fascinated by this mystical experience you had that inspired you. Tell us about that.
There are actually three experiences that are related. The mystical experience didn't happen first. The first experience, which was a consciousness shifting experience, but not something I could call a mystical experience, was when I was a young mother, maybe 30 years old, somewhere around there. I had 3 preschoolers, 3 sons. When my youngest son was born, my oldest son began wetting the bed. He was 5 years old at the time. And as the mother of 3 preschoolers, I had my hands full. I did not need a kid wetting the bed every morning.
That's a lot.
and of course, being the quote perfect mother, I always felt I had to change the sheets, wash the sheets. It was extra work. I was exhausted. I didn't need this. So at first I ignored it, hoping it would go away on its own. And it didn't. And then I decided it was time to have a talk with Bill and explain to him why a 5-year-old was too old to wet the bed. Well, Bill sat there and he listened very carefully to everything I said. And the next morning the bed was wet again. Clearly that was a waste of time. I was getting more frustrated, and nothing I was doing was working to stop this disruptive conduct. So I raised my voice. Well, that didn't work. The bed was still wet the next morning. I think I spanked him once. The bed was still wet. And I could see that I was getting out of control. Around that time, my mother gave me a book called Summerhill by an English schoolmaster, A.S. Neal. A.S. Neal ran a boarding school in England, and he had a very strange way of dealing with disruptive kids in his school. He didn't make them sit down and write 100 times, "I will be good." He didn't stand them in a corner to make them think about their bad behavior. When a kid was interrupting the teaching or disruptive in some way, Neal gave him a penny. And there was nothing moralistic about the way he wrote. It was simply descriptive. When he gave the child a penny, the disruptive behavior, more often than not, would stop. And the child would become interested in the learning and start cooperating in the classroom. Well, this made no sense to me. Why would you give a child a penny for bad behavior? But I was also really frustrated, and I was at my wit's end, and I didn't know how to deal with this problem. So I had no idea whether this would work or not, but I was willing to try it. And I had a model in front of me. The next morning, the bed was wet again.
Oh, boy.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't understand this, but I just go to my wallet, I pull a penny out, and I give it to Bill. And Bill kind of looks up at me as if to say, "Wonder what's wrong with her this morning. This is not normal mother behavior." But he never wet the bed again.